Thank you for choosing to watch this video. We find ourselves during a time in the world where countries are faced with lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. What this has meant for many of us is that the way we work, live, and go to school has changed. In order to adapt to our changing world, we need to equip ourselves with tools that no generation has ever needed. I hope that as you are listening to this video and watching it, it encourages you. And as you are encouraged, you also take the time to pre-order my next book, Level Up, or to get it on Amazon. Thank you.
Now to something quite fun, something quite interesting, something that is a topic that is on many women's lips. The question is, can you safely say when you're above the age of 30, are you single and loving it? Well, it is no secret that many women struggle with the season of being single. Let's meet our next author. Her name is Mantsha Pheeha. She writes a book, Single and Loving It. And I'm telling you, this book is the one that you need if you feel like you are struggling accepting where you are, or if you feel like your life is lacking because you don't have a husband and the kids. If you feel like the picture of having to make it does not look like what society says. Well, you're not the only one. Mantsha writes this book as she is about to turn 40. She shares a story about a man she meets on social media. Well, this is the norm in our days. She meets this man who happens to be a minister of the gospel, happens to be an entrepreneur who is making millions. He's a mover and a shaker. And so Mantsha thinks this must be a dream come true. It is an answered prayer. But as you continue reading the story, you meet this man who happens to be a fraudster, has a couple of criminal cases, and is known to having had to defraud other women. At this point, Mantsha is so in love. They have met the family, the parents. You know, she is even starting to plan her wedding when everything falls apart. She is very real, very candid about the story of how this affected her, the pain and the trauma she had to deal with, the embarrassment from people around her asking her what happened. But then she moves on and she gets to the point where she fully embraces being single and doesn't look at it as a thorn in the flesh or something that is terribly wrong with her. Mantsha shares stories from other people who have had to walk the journey to singleness. Now, this book is going to make you laugh. You're going to wonder about some decisions. Most importantly, every chapter has a lessons learned in the end. In that way, you know exactly why you are reading this book. I want to share one that stood out for me. And this is where Mantsha says, remember that your moments of weaknesses do not define you. She had her own moment of weakness where she did not really pay attention to this mystery man she thought was going to be her husband. But that was just a moment of weakness, and it's not who she is. Grab yourself a copy of Single and Loving It, especially if you feel like you are not really loving the season of being single and you're over the age of 35. Mantsha Pheeha is mantsha.com on Facebook, mantsha.com on Instagram, and you can email her. She is mantsha@mantsha.com to get yourself a copy. Single and Loving It.